Hello and welcome to the third episode of Triple Dummy. Here with me I've got Nick Jacob and Elena Moskovsky, and I'm Peter Hollins. Today we're going to be talking about sort of dealing with misunderstandings and bad boards between partnerships. Some results, there's been a lot of results recently. Some tips on sort of helping partner out, because sometimes you can make a big improvement in their game just at the table. And also different things people are doing to support the development of bridge. Just talking about misunderstandings, I had a big one in the final of the ANC, which a lot of people might have known. Not sure if you know, El, but I got to play in a 4-2 fit at slam level in the final of the ANC.
I did see that, actually. It was one of the few things that I did see.
I'm glad.
I didn't really watch much of the finals. But I did look at the results and notice that you played on 40 feet. Yeah. Yes, I'm aware.
Well, sometimes submotions are good, right? You know, you just take a rough from the shorthand, you draw trumps, and then come home on the side suit, right? I mean, surely it was that sort of hand, right, Pete?
We're the Jack of Hearts away from making it.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's brutal. So what happened?
We were on two completely different wavelengths.
Yeah, right.
We got preempted, and like whenever they preempt you, you like often are in uncharted territories. But the auction went 3 diamonds, and I doubled. I just had like this massive rock crusher, and my partner bid 3 spades, and I had a 3, 4, 1, 5. So I just bid 4 diamonds forcing, and my partner bid 4 hearts, and I wasn't sure if that was a Q bid or like an offer to play or something. So I bid 5 hearts, sort of like I'm slam invitational opposite something, and I wanted to clarify that hearts might be a playable spot. And then he bid 6 clubs, and I was like, I have no clue what that is. So I bid 6 diamonds, like, where do you want to go? And he said 6 hearts. So that's how the auction proceeded. After the 5 heart bid, I knew that he could bid 5 no trumps, pick a slam or something. So I had no idea what 6 clubs was. From his perspective, I had said, he said Q bid in hearts. I said, I've got a good hand with hearts. He said, I don't really like hearts. What about clubs? And I said, do something intelligent. So we had to play there. But I find that like these misunderstandings always happen in the pressure matches. Like when things can't go wrong, that's when all this bad stuff happens. You always seem to luck out when there's no pressure on the line. Do you guys?
And you got.
Sorry, you
I
go.
was just going to say, I mean, you guys have been playing together for how many years? And, you know, the amount of misunderstandings in these positions where you guys are on completely different wavelengths, you know, that can't happen very often at all, right? I would think like 1 in every 1,000 auctions or something. So, yeah, for it to happen, I mean, and which set was it in?
The 3rd set of the final, which happened to be the very first board of like there was like 20 boards at night and then 40 boards the next day, and it was board 1 of the next day. And we're like,
Yeah, not ideal.
down 50 imps. Here's like another 20. Enjoy.
Yep.
Do you guys have any stories from like big misunderstandings in random moments?
I remember this one from the Atlanta 2013 Bridge World Championships, where we were on a team with you and Jazz Pete, Lauren and I were playing. And we're playing against some random team. It was during the 70 board teams qualifying, if you remember. It went over 2 days and it was just 70 boards for the qualifying of a world championship. It seems a bit short, but anyway. So I don't remember, but it went like some opening bid by me. 2 no trumps for the minors. It must have been one major or whatever. 2 no trumps for the minors. And then Lauren maybe passed or maybe made a double. I think she showed something. And then it went 4 diamonds, double or pass. And we both thought because we both had, one of us had a singleton diamond and the other one had a void, so that I thought I was making a take-out double, and she assumed that because she had a singleton or a void that I was making a penalty double. And it turns out the guy had just bid 4 diamonds only on his, like, 6-card support and his void and something. So it went like, went minus 9-10 in such a short qualifying of the World Championships that we were just like, so penalties take out what? So yeah, that one was pretty costly. I'm pretty sure that cost us the match, the 10 board match. Minus 9-10 is a big score.
That is a very big score.
But you're right, they do always happen in the big pressure matches. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because you're not confident, so that maybe if it was in a different situation, you'd be confident about what the 4 diamond or what the 4 heart bid meant. Like, maybe it's the fact that the situation that you're in that makes you unsure about it, or maybe it's because it's such high stakes you try to, I don't know, sometimes I know I try to come up with these clever bids. I mean, I'm not sure that's not what you were doing, but like this happens to me a lot where I'm like, oh, this is a really good bid, I'm going to do this and it's going to make sense. But my partner just has no idea what I'm doing, you know, they can't see my hand and instantly know that 4 hearts is the perfect bid for my hand. So, yeah, that definitely happens more often in the important matches, and I'm not really sure why. But it's pretty annoying.
Yeah. Sometimes I think you almost get sort of stuck in your own, you know, in your own head, in your own hand when you're in that sort of big match and you're like, oh my God, this decision is riding on me, you know, like it's hard to get out of your head and think, oh, actually, hang on, like I've actually just got to do something that's really easy for partner to understand. And whether that means I'm going to, you know, maybe play a slightly worse fit instead of one we might be able to find if I make it, you know, a dubious double, then I'll just accept that, you know, 90% position. I mean, what I think as well is if partnerships consistently have misunderstandings, they don't play high pressure matches. They don't get there. You cannot get to, you know, a final of a big event by having misunderstandings and donating, you know, 25 imps a match. So it's completely natural for it to come up in big matches. Yeah. I mean, with Glenn and I, right, we played transfers over a club, and I think we had 3 just ridiculous auctions after one club passed a spade, because, you know, it could have diamonds, could be blah, 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 and we'd bid a no trump, and then 2 hearts was artificial, showing something. And then he bid 4 hearts with his weak no trump, and I had like a singleton heart plus some other crap. I'm like, oh my God, it's just over. You know, this auction. You know, you just feel like putting your cards back into the board, just saying, take your 15 imps or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, you do. You definitely feel like that sometimes. Sometimes you just want to shuffle and get it, like just get rid of it.
This
Make
board's
it go
over.
away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I guess just if you have enough experience with your partner and you know what sort of situations you guys screw up together, just for heaven's sake, just agree something simple and stick to it, and don't do anything fancy or, you know, genius at the table, because it's not going to work.
It never works. You're right. It never works.
What do you reckon you do to deal with it? Like, after you've had the misunderstanding and the crappy board in that pressure match, or in a match you want to win, and everyone's feeling down in the dumps and you think your partner's mental. Like, what do you do to, like, get onto it with the next board?
Oof. I don't know. It's really, really tough. Not only to get over the fact that you've just lost 15 imps and this is a really important match, and I think the most important thing is to not go, oh, I need to start swinging, I need to start generating imps. That's the first thing that you don't do. And that luckily comes easy to me because I don't even know how to generate, even if I tried, so I don't have to do that one. But the fear of having lost so many imps on one board that you have to get them back is just a little overwhelming sometimes. Also, the feeling that partner fucked up and that you just get annoyed at them, you have to overcome that one too, because that's just going to make shit worse.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really have any tips except just to like try and focus as hard as you can on the board that you're playing. Just think about your cards and don't think about any of this shit. Don't look at your score sheet. Whatever you do, don't look at the score sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't mark it, anything like that. I mean, I see, you know, I used to get into bad habits of that, and that's kind of why I started scoring on this tiny little scrap of paper because I could like just kind of like hide it somewhere, and I'd forget about it, and and this is normally the case with either some pro and sponsor partnerships or in intermediate sort of that intermediate stage where you're really interested in the game and you want to ask all these questions, but you don't know if you can remember everything.
Yeah.
And you see you're playing against them, and they've got the score sheet, and they've got like 15 question marks and like 10 crosses, and all these things written on there, and you're like, well, like sure that is maybe a question mark, but you're thinking much harder about the hand after you've played it than the next hand that you got to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do whatever you can to break the funk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I find it. I've had a lot of practice at just like trying to focus on it, but like I think the next board I'm okay, but it's like 4 boards later. I'm like, oh, why did I bother doing that? Like maybe when I was dummy or something, I just started thinking about it again, and then the board after that, I was like, oh no, because I've had it like beaten into me, like don't think about it on the next board. So like, I forget about it for a little while, and I'm like, just something like down in the match, and yeah. I find it really hard just to not think about it at all. Like,
Yeah, it's difficult. It's definitely really, really hard.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the WBF's going to incorporate 4 board matches for you, Pete. So we'll have to sort it out.
They might include some 4-board playoffs though. That'd be good.
Oh, yuck.
Can you imagine a 4-board playoff at a world championship? That'd be
awesome.
fucked up.
Oh.
So
It'll take an hour and a half.
in the Europeans, they split ties just by sudden death. First one to score imps. I was like, that is
What?
awesome. Like there was a women's team that had a tie, and just had the old sudden death to get over it, and the score was like 1 spade making 1, and 4 clubs doubled making the other way. I was just like, that was their tiebreaker.
That's ridiculous.
Whoa.
That doesn't even. That actually came up on a Bridge Winners discussion, right? Where I think it was Kit Woolsey who said that, well, okay, but it doesn't actually become an imp match anymore. It's just a boarded match. Like you're like, all right, well, we're just playing BAM this board, so like it goes, pass. I know Trump on the left, pass, and you've got like a 4-3, 4-2, just bid like 2 clubs to the majors or double or something. It's just, and you're like, all right, sure, it is bridge as well, but it's like saying if you're playing a match point pairs event and you're tied for first, all right, well, we're going to have a hand of rubber, and let's who goes plus. It's stupid. It's really silly.
Yeah. There's a G-Knot event up in Tweed Head that settles ties by coin toss. Now that's a tie break that I like.
I remember I was at the G-Knot one year, and I think it's the second tiebreak is a twin toss, because the first time you have a tiebreak with a team, you do a two board playoff, because I had to do one of those ones. Then if you're tied again, then I think you do the coin toss. Because I remember I had to do a 2-board playoff, and it took me like I don't remember, a long time, like at least 7 minutes to play this absolutely laid out cold 4 hearts +1 just board, and it just took me so long. I counted my tricks like 10 times. Honestly, it was ridiculous. 2 boards. Oh, rude.
Yeah.
It's rude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll move on to the next topic, which was just results, and we've got a lot of results coming through at the moment. So I was just away over in Perth for 2 weeks. Nick was also there for 1 week. So I'll just run through some of the results. So the first week was the interstate teams. I came second in that, which in the Open, which was ACT versus Victoria, and ACT thumped us, which was beautiful. In the women's, ACT beat New South Wales. In the seniors, New South Wales beat Victoria. And in the youth, South Australia beat Queensland. So that were just some things. One thing I took away from that was I was really happy that Queensland got up and made the finals. Now, in the youth, they're not really a powerhouse of the youth, but I think the last time they made the finals was 2006 or so. So that was pretty cool to see them get back up there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. And I was pretty glad to see South Australia win because they've never really, as far as I remember, they've just come last like every year. But now they've finally got some good people, and I mean, you know, they've always had good people, but they've got quite a decent team, and they actually went together and won. So that was pretty exciting because it's nice to see the teams that, you know, consistently don't do well finally, you know, come around and win the thing. It's really great.
Yeah,
So I thought that was good.
yeah, absolutely. Such good performances as well. I mean, not without a bit of strife. Shane Harrison, who was playing on the South Australian team, he had to get an emergency appendix removal. So, you know, and this is one of the guys who, you know, is definitely one of the strong, you know, one of the three people on the team who have played for Australia in the past, of, you know, very strong players. So that, you know, didn't really slow them down too much either. It was good, you know. Lauren and the others had to mix up their partnerships, and they did well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good effort.
Yeah, recovering from appendicitis. Nice.
Yeah,
He looked so awful. I saw him like he was like hobbling around.
yeah, he did.
So yeah, that was a few things that came out. Me and Jazz also managed to top the datums in the qualifying, which was nice. They awarded a nice little medal. It's the first time I've done that.
Yeah, Laura and I won it last year for the youth, you remember? And it was the first year that we got a medal for it, because I remember Reese was really upset because he won it the previous year and he didn't get a medal, and Laura and I were like, suck it, Reese.
Yeah.
So that was pretty satisfying, yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
Laura did rubbish me a lot because she won that, and that's something I can't ever win.
Yep.
She won something that introduced after my youth career.
Yeah, that's right. And she can always win the open datum at some point, you know. Like you'll just never know. It'll always be, you know, a shadow over your head, over you.
And she just parades this little medal around. Like,
yeah. So Pete, you know, we have to ask you. Obviously, it all turned pretty horribly wrong in the final.
Yeah.
ACT for the second year in a row kind of scraped in, and then dominated the final. They dominated last year's as well. So, you know, and obviously the Victorian team, on paper, I think it's fair to say, was the strongest team there. So,
yeah, I did get a lot of questions about how did you lose that? How did you not win? But unbackable
Players are so
favourites.
insensitive sometimes.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So tell us, you know.
No, well, ACT played really well. Now, they had sort of 6 players. None of them, well, they had like one real partnership, but they just had 6 good players going around. And they just sort of rocked up and played and didn't really give us anything, and just sort of got the momentum from board 1. And they just sort of carried on with it. And it seems like when they start, like when your opponents start winning, it's really tricky to like just claw something back a bit or change the tides. So I don't know like why they've done it 2 years in a row or anything like that, but they're all good players, so I don't think anyone's surprised that they could win and in the end crushed us. But and they've all been around the blocks for a while, so handled pressure really well, and clearly didn't play in 4-2 fits.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you didn't lose by approximately 7 amps. So
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would hate for that to happen, though.
Yeah. I'm not going to look back at this and think if only I did this, I would have picked up another 60 amps and won the event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also in results was the second week from over in Perth, where the Butler was held, and Justin Howard and Tony Nunn won the Open Butler. So Juz is on some hot form at the moment, so see how long he keeps that up. I'll just run through the other results, which were the women's was won by Marilyn Chadwick and Tony Sharp, the seniors by Therese Tully and Richard Wallace, and the Swiss pairs by Trevor Fuller and Jerry Daly. Yeah, so well done to all of them. But Juz and Tony have never played before, and I don't think they had any partnership discussion before rocking up, really. But just got there and actually played and sort of dominated the whole event, really.
Yeah, there were about 40 VPs up 2 days into the event, and it's, you know, I mean, obviously that's only 2 matches, but against top quality experts, you know, really the only chance is if someone gets sick or some of these random misunderstandings crop up, and but you know, you just kind of, you know, some people are a bit streaky, and you might expect them to blow a 40 VP lead, but you know, you look at Juz and Trev on paper, and you know, it was kind of, it seemed like it was on lock.
Yeah.
You know, they were, and yeah, it seemed like they were I mean, they weren't cruising as in taking it easy, but you know, that it was just all consolidation from there. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful result.
I know Reese Cooper lost a bunch of money betting against them. He took the field.
The field was just...
Let me just ask you something, Pete. Over the years of knowing the infamous Reese Cooper, how much money do you think that he has lost to you in bets?
He has kept
Because I swear, every year during the ANC or some large event, he always insists on betting against you guys. Like, he's always like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to beat you guys this year. I'm going to put $100 on it. And he always loses every year, and he doesn't learn. He keeps like double or nothing himself. And like, honest to God, how much money do you think you've made off Reese Cooper?
Well, he's kept me off the streets.
Yeah, he's put a house around you.
He's put my kids through college.
Yeah. Funded your wedding.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Would not be surprised.
I just find that making bets, I think, is really good against most bridge players overstate their own ability. I wouldn't bet with Reese if he wasn't in the event. If Reese was in the event, his ability to judge the other players in comparison to him, atrocious. He might be objectively able to do it, but as soon as he's in the field, it's like, yeah, all right, that's just some easy money.
And he hasn't learnt yet. He hasn't given up. He's still doing it. So I mean, at least he's dedicated to losing money to you guys.
Yeah, this one
That's
was
nice.
actually to Michael Wilkinson. It was pretty funny. They made a bet early on where they took even money. So Wilco took the field, Juz and Tony, Reese took the field. And then when they were up 40 VPs, Wilco goes, okay, I'll give you 19-1 that they'll still win. And Reese put more money on it and just sort of kept donating some more money.
19-1.
Whoa.
Just printing money.
Yeah, it's basically going to the mint.
Yeah. I gotta get in on some of this action, eh?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
So some other slightly more modest results. So there's a guy who lives in Dunedin, bridge player. His name's Bradley Johnston, and he is the person that I met through bridge who got me my current job, actually. So he's extremely keen, and he's been playing for a couple of years now, I think. But he is the most keen to learn person I've ever met. We at work use Skype, and he just constantly messages me bridge questions on Skype, just literally all day, every day. I'm just like, Brad, I can't get any work done. Can you stop? Honestly. And once I actually started counting how many bridge hands / stories he told me in a day, and it was upwards of 10. I'm not joking. Yeah. That's a lot. Anyway, he's keen and he's learning and he's doing pretty well so far. So we played a tournament on the weekend, match point pairs tournament, and we came second by 6 match points. Just 6, approximately the number that really gets you. And one of the third to last boards was pretty interesting, which easily could have swung more. Let's say more than 6 inches, comfortably more than 6 inches. 6 match points, sorry. So I'll give you your hand. It's ace, queen, 9 to 5 spades.
Yep.
4 small hearts, void, and ace, queen to 4 clubs. No big pips in clubs. You've got a 12 count, 5, 4, 0, 4. So you're in first seat all, and you open a spade.
Yep.
And pass on your left. Your partner means 3 diamonds, which is 10 to 12 and 4 cards spade support. The person on your right is 3 hearts. So I chose to make a 4 club, which I thought would be a cubid. It's undiscussed, but I just assumed it'd be some sort of slam shot. So it goes 4 clubs from you, 4 hearts on your left, 4 spades from partner, which is no agreement. I don't know if that shows extras or minimum or no idea. Then it goes 5 hearts on your right.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! I wonder how many partners got. Looks like he's gonna void, right? Woo! So what are you gonna bid over this now?
Your opponents were vulnerable?
I think so. I can't say for sure. I can't remember. They were either I think so.
So we were vulnerable and they may or may not have been.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
If they're not vulnerable, they might have like a 4-3 fit or something.
Yeah, well, you're playing against some sort of solid citizens. You're not really playing anyone who's having a laugh. Someone's overcalled at the 3 level. Someone's raised. The other person's raised to 5.
Yeah.
They definitely don't have a 4-3 fit. Definitely not. I thought it's pretty unlikely that they'd have an 8 card fit as well, but I don't know. What are you guys gonna bid?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Put the money on the line. Bid 6.
You would bid 6, would you?
I might. King to 4 spades and king to 4 clubs, and they lead a heart. No, not king to 4 clubs, but king of clubs. You got those 2 cards. You got slams nearly 100%, right?
Looks pretty good, and that's only 6 points. So that's approximately half of what he's shown so far.
If partner puts
and
down...
he doesn't have wasted values in hearts as well, because he's at most a singleton.
Yeah.
Probably.
But he's also upgrading his hand because he's got a singleton. He's not. He shouldn't be 10 to 12 high card points plus a singleton. He's more like sort of 7 to 9 high card points plus a singleton. At least that's how that's really what it is. You're making an invitational raise with 4 card support. If you've got a singleton, then you need less high cards, basically.
Yeah.
So I think it's too much bidding slam. I mean, geez, I wouldn't have even bid 4 clubs, right? I'm not a pussy. I just would have been 4 spades. It's like I'll just try and make 4 spades. I think opposite, without discussion, and opposite a keen young player, I'd probably think that 4 spades is a little bit nicer than passing 4 hearts. So, I think partner could double 4 hearts to say no.
Yeah.
Or pass 4 hearts to say, not really no, but not really so 4 spades is not bad, but I think 5 spades is plenty, Yeah.
But if you're taking a club finesse, it's probably going to work because that's the guy who overcalled.
Well, maybe. Yeah, probably.
So if he overcalled and the other guy's got a fit, and they don't have a massive fit, so your right-hand opponent's actually got points, so any finesse you're going to take will probably work.
But also any spade length, if anyone's got any spade length, that'll probably be your left-hand opponent. So they could easily have 3 or 4 spades on this action.
Yeah.
Let's say you bid 6 spades.
All right.
That's what I did at the table. I was like, my mate's got a heart void, I've got a diamond void, I just need to have king, king, 6 spades. So that goes double or pass.
Alright, good.
Yeah, good start. I'm already starting to worry about that 4-0 Trump break-off side, so good. I'm kind of secretly hoping that my partner's got 5 spades because I want to have enough stuff to rough and then still draw trumps and keep communication and stuff. So they lead the ace of diamonds, and dummy comes down, and your partner's got king, jack to 4, stiff, jack to 4, and king, 10, 8, X.
Oh, what a hand.
Yeah, looks good, right?
Oh, good partner. Good partner.
Yeah.
I know. It's got a pretty good hand. You couldn't really have asked for more. I mean, you could have asked for a 5th trump. That would probably just be a bit greedy, you know?
Yeah.
You've got 1 point wasted, and you want more. All right.
Playing, you know, but it would have been nice if you could have sported a 5th spade, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got stiff hearts. So they've got a 5-3 heart fit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So now you have to make this hand now, and the question is, can you make if spades are 3-1 ever? Because you have to either rough 3 trumps in dummy or rough 4 diamonds in your hand.
Diamond.
Yeah. Feels like you can probably make with 3-1 trumps.
Yeah. The
You
problem
might need
with the how
clubs
I
3-2.
Yeah. It feels like you have to play a heart trick
Yeah.
too. Like you just rough it, play a heart because you need to
Yeah.
set up your communications to rough hearts and diamonds. So I think assume we do that, and then what do they do?
So I roughed and played a heart,
Mhm.
and then my left-hand opponent won that and returned a low club.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's weird.
it is weird, but it's also kind of makes me think that maybe they had a singleton and they were going to cash their ace of diamonds and maybe switch to their singleton. I don't know. It all looked horrible from where I was sitting.
I don't like that. I wouldn't switch to a
And give-
singleton club. Like
Ah,
they know you've got a void diamond, and they know dummies now void heart. But they've just run out of suits to play. They didn't want to play a trump for no apparent reason.
Hmm.
the thing that I thought was like they're all about the 5 level in an 8-card fit, so they must have some shortages somewhere.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty likely that the person on my left had spades, and I couldn't really decide when I was playing it whether I wanted to rough diamonds out or rough hearts out. So I just messed up my entries trying to do both, and it just didn't really work out. But I'm pretty sure you can make it
Where trumps
most of the
3-1?
time. Trumps were 2-2,
Oh,
which I was
Clubs
not
were-
expecting at all. Pardon?
Clubs were 4-1.
And clubs 3-2. No, clubs 3-2. Everything broke on the hand.
Yeah.
So I went minus 500 because I went 2 off because I played it pretty atrociously, and then I could have gotten plus 1660 or whatever it is. So that was certainly more than 6 match points.
I think
But it's actually a pretty play.
I think he can handle spades 3-1 if clubs are 3-2. And you might be able to handle clubs 4-1 if spades are 2-2, but you still might have a club loser, right?
Yeah, clubs have to be 4-1
So
on the
if
right
that-
side.
If they'd let a singleton from that guy, haven't you gone down if they're 4-1?
Yes, yeah. So I
So
guess
don't-
you should assume that hasn't
So
happened.
you just
yeah.
win in your hand, rough a heart, cross into your hand, rough a heart, rough a diamond, rough a heart. Overtake a spade? Or play a spade?
Yeah.
I don't know, you might have run out of pips or something.
I
Yeah.
think you could probably overtake the spade by now. You've got ace queen in your hand and you've roughed with 3 low spades and dummy, so you can overtake the king with the ace and play the queen, assuming that trumps are 2-2. That'll work, yeah.
No.
Anyway,
and,
it was a pretty funny hand.
and you dropped to second because of that?
Yep.
Bad luck.
Yes. Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah. See, that's tough, right? I mean, it's kind of, it's kind of a thing that happens a reasonable amount when you've got, you know, I mean, sometimes you've bid these slams that have no values and they're just beautiful and lay down and stuff. But even here, we've got a really good 9 card fit, and it's like, wow, if we're missing the 10 of trumps, like it's still going to fail most of the time. I think, like even if you can't rough diamonds in your hand because you don't have you probably don't have 2 club entries to do that and draw trumps if trumps are 3-1. And you'll need to use 2 rounds of clubs to get back to your hand to rough 2 hearts, draw a trump and another diamond rough and another heart rough and another,
Yeah.
by the time you don't want to rough 3 diamonds in your hand because then you need trumps 2-2 and clubs 3-2, and that's just not good. Like with this bidding, this is like a 5% slam at best, I think.
Yeah.
But if they lead a heart,
so,
you're much better off.
yeah, that's true. That's a good point actually. Yeah, if they lead a heart and then switch to a diamond, you're quite a bit better shape. You can use your clubs as entries, and it's just it's a bit easier.
Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of all the results that have happened in the last few weeks. Congrats to Elle, and what was your partner's name again?
Brad.
Well done.
He's really cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry. Shout out to him. He's Jay Coots on BBO. Just a letter J and then Coots. So
can you just spell that?
Yeah, so if you think of the guy James Coots, it seems like Brad idolizes him, which is pretty good. I mean, pretty good choice. I mean, certainly at least two of 3 of the participants of Triple Dummy idolize him, so that's good. I don't know about you, Pete, but yeah. So it's JCOUTTS, and he's always on BBO. He loves it. Have a game with him. He's a good dude. Over to you, Pete.
All right, cool. So we'll move on to the next topic, which was some tips on how to sort of help partner out. Like, what I find is a lot of people don't consider that partner will have a problem some of the time. But I find all the better players think about what could partners' issues be and how to go from there. Do you have any tips on sort of helping partner out, Nick?
Well, I mean, one of the things that's, I think, by far the hardest part of partnership harmony is defense and discarding. So, I mean, we can all agree, we play reverse attitude and reverse count and we lead fourths, yada, yada, yada. But, so partnership defense, working out what your partner's going to lead from a variety of things, having the discipline to continue to lead that sort of thing, if you've agreed it, and if you know what, it doesn't mean you have to be disciplined. It doesn't mean you have to be conservative as a leader, but if you're always aggressive in these positions, always passive in these positions, partner can work out what you've got, and you should try and discard stuff that makes it easy for partner to work out. So say you've preempted and you've got a useless doubled in somewhere, and you can, for whatever reason, you can tell that declarer doesn't have a guess in the suit, but partner may need to know how many you have. So you just throw both of them away. Partner is able to be like, well, he threw 2 clubs, so I'm assuming that doesn't mean he's got 10 thirded, is holding on to the 10 to better trick 13. He's actually got 2 of them and is telling me how many clubs he's got. So that sort of thing I think is really helpful, particularly defending against 300 trumps when you don't know if you have to make an aggressive switch or not. You don't know if you have to play passive or set up a long suit or try for tricks in a new suit. Just be really, really disciplined about not only giving the signal that partner needs accurately. So, and by accurately I mean, like, say you've got king 6-5-2 or something, and you've decided you want to play discourage in the suit. Play the 6, not the 5. If you're encouraging, play the 5 and you'll play the 2 and not the 5. Just play something that's easy for partner to work out. It's so hard, when you just lead something and partner plays a middle card from 3 terrible cards, and you're like, oh, okay, thanks. Like, I'll just try to work this out for no reason whatsoever. So that's my tip. Yeah, just signal loud and clearly, at least until you know until you and your partner know when you want to signal loud and clearly. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. What about you, El?
Helping partner is one of the things that I have the most problem with. I really get stuck in my own head and in my own problems of what my problem is in this hand. And if I don't have a problem, then it's a nice relaxing break, and it's just like, well, phew, I don't have to think about anything on this hand. I can take, it's relaxing. You don't have to work so hard about every trick, especially in important matches. You really don't want to think about every single thing because it's too stressful on your mind. You need to take breaks. So I find it extremely difficult to think about partner situation. I just get stuck thinking about what my problem is. I definitely agree with you, Nick, that pitching, obviously, and pitching cards that help partner rectify the count, like help partner work out what Declara's shape is. Like the amount of time, like I've started recently realizing that it's just so easy. Sometimes partner doesn't know who has the 13th spade, so they don't know what card to keep. Like if Declara has the 13th spade, then they have they have 2 hearts and 3 diamonds or, whatever. But if you just pitch it, then partner instantly knows what's going on. You're never going to get into hand, you're never going to be able to play it, you know that. You could just throw it away. Some people, I know that I used to do it, just be like, I'll just hold on to it just in case I get into my hand or something like that, and it just happens really easily to just want to. But yeah, I've recently realized that you can help partner a lot with your discard by telling them, by pitching cards that they don't know if it's in your hand or in Declara's hand. So that's a really, really good one to start thinking about, especially in 3-note trumps, because it's so important that often. But the other big thing I think is trying to help partner in the auction, and like being kind to your mate during the auction is really, really beneficial. But I honestly have no idea how to do it. It's probably something that I'm trying to work out, but I don't know. I honestly have no idea. It's really, really one of my many, not strong points. So yeah, I find that really difficult, especially the bidding. Yeah. But one of the good things about playing with Lauren was that we always just agreed to play reverse count everywhere, so we never had an issue of, I thought you were playing attitude. No, why would I give you attitude there? And it's good to just like she was gonna give you a reverse count. So I think that was really, really helpful as well. Because I play with other people now, and I'm like, was that attitude? Why would you give me? I have no idea. I don't even know what attitude is anymore. How does it work? Can you tell me when you like the suit? Does that mean I have to play it, or does that just mean you wouldn't mind if I switched to it? Or does that mean you only want me to switch to it if I've got something in it as well? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Just give me count and I'll be a happy person. Honestly. So yeah, helping partner, it's tough. It's hard. What do you do, Pete? How do you think about that?
Well, I was just going to make a point which you sort of jumped to, which is try and remember that there are other, not just the cards in front of you, everyone else is holding other cards. Lots of people just focus on their cards and pick what the best card for them to play is or anything like that. But there's a lot about working out where the missing cards are and then realizing that you're working with a partner and they don't know everything you know. So just because you've worked it out, if you can remove their choice from them when you know what's right, definitely do that. Like, if you can tell partner what to do, or you can make them do what you want them to do, just like make them do it. Like, if you treat your partner like the biggest idiot you can, and just make it as simple as possible by forcing them to get it right, you'll defend so much better. Like, me and Justin treat each other like complete bozos. Like, this chump is not going to get this one right. And, like, because we put, like, so much effort into, like, stopping them, yeah, I'm not going to give you a choice to screw this one up. Like, I know it's blatantly obvious, but you're not getting that choice. And, I think removing choice when you have the ability to remove it, like, it's kind of what Nick was saying. Like, partner might think that they've got a guess, so just throw every card you got in the suit away. And now they know Declara can't have a choice, so they have to get it right, and things like that. But just remembering that your partner is there, they have their own problems, and if you can force them to get something right, do it. Don't just don't give them a nice encouraging signal that they might get wrong. Just do like the most bleedingly obvious thing and force them. If you can overtake a card and just cash a winner, just do it rather than telling them to lead it for you. Things like that.
Sometimes pitching an ace does the same trick, but sometimes it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
one of those things you just got to try and do the thing that you think is most likely to make it very easy for partner, even if occasionally on some layout that you hadn't considered or a layout that seems very unlikely, you cost the contract because you tried to make it easy. I think it's something that a lot of people do. I think it's a lot of, you tend to fall into one or two categories. I mean, some people try and make it really easy for partners. Some people don't care at all, and they just kind of like, yeah, just work it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very good to make it easy for partner, because then you're thinking about it from partnership perspective as well. So even if it doesn't really matter, at least you're still thinking about defenses when you've got your yarb, and you're probably never getting in because you're thinking, well, like, how do I tell partner that I've got a yarb? How do I express the fact that I'm going to be of no value to him whatsoever on defense? It's, can be quite useful.
Yeah, the amount of times that I've worked out what a hand needs, like what defense we need to do to make the hand, like make the contract go off, and then being like, okay, so I can give the lead to my partner, and then they'll know what to do, and they can take the finesse, and then it'll go 2 off or something, and then I'll give the lead to my partner, and then literally moments later I'll be like, oh, but if there's this layout and they don't know, then they might do this instead, and then, oh no, how do they know? Oh.
Or you give the lead to your partner and then they sit there for 10 minutes and you're like, oh, what did I do? If they just go into the tank. That's like the scariest thing for me. Alright, anyway, we'll move on to the next topic, which is sort of like supporting development in bridge. And like what I mean is, like, there's some people out there really trying to help people get better, whether it's youth bridge, women's, seniors, whatever it is. There's people out there doing their part to help it. And one noticeable thing that I really wanted to thank was Jamie Thompson. He went over and played the youth ANC, and he played on a team where the average age, including him, was like 13.8 or something. And this was in an under-26 field. The team didn't really have any chance of doing any well, and he's an Australian rep giving up all his time, a whole week, just playing and helping out these little kids, helping the next generation. So I just wanted to give him a big thanks and I think it's awesome what he's doing there. But do you guys know of other people putting their hands up and doing that sort of stuff?
Well, on that note of the Victorian youth, I think I have to give, congratulations to you as well. You and Laura and Juz, the three of whom have made it possible for the I think, are they all Victorian?
Yeah.
All 6 Victorian kids to go away to Croatia to play in the schools competition, which is amazing. I mean, has Australia ever fielded? I mean, I know there was an event that was called Schools back in the day, but it was kind of effectively under 21. But I don't know. I would assume pretty safely that Australia and New Zealand have never fielded an under 16 team at Worlds.
No, it's only just recently come into existence.
True. Yeah, but still, I mean, getting that to happen, a lot of parents to be persuaded, a lot of sponsors to be persuaded, and as well as sorting out personnel to help out. So I know Justin's spending a bit of his time over there doing the kind of NPC chef de mission work, which is really good. He's a guy who's played, for years as a youth player. He knows the ins and outs of it, so should look after them really well. I think you guys have done a really good job with the kids.
Yeah.
Sorry to continue that. Yeah. I mean, in Australia, it seems like there are lots of people who are putting a lot into training young players as well. Western Australia, you've got guys like Jonathan Free and Chris Mully who are helping out a heck of a lot training people. So, and New Zealand, we've got Susan who's organising our funding. So Susan Humphreys,
she's done awesomely.
Yeah, Absolutely.
She was
So,
she's the reason that it sort of revived. They started sending teams away again. Basically, how much
yeah,
did she fundraise to get, like 20 or so people to the Australian Championship or something like that?
yeah,
She
yeah.
did
It was
awesomely.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. Last year in the summer festival, well, the youth week before the summer festival of Bridge,
Yeah,
it was by far the biggest New Zealand turnout. Um, and probably one of the biggest New Zealand turnouts there ever will be.
yeah.
All things considered. So, yeah, it's been amazing. I don't know where the money's come from, but I don't ask questions. I just say thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the main things is lots of youth bridge, at least in Australia and New Zealand, is people donating their time to the youth players, and then once they've had that training, they then feel they have to repay it. So it's sort of like a reciprocal thing where you take the tuition, and then 10 years down the track, you're expected to give it back if you're still around to do that. But I'm really glad whenever young people like who are still youth players actually start doing it, then like Elle helped out heaps doing fundraising and stuff for the Vic stuff last year when she was still back in Melbourne before she ran away. But there's heaps of that stuff helping out. But I'm sure if anyone's listening and wants to thank anyone that's been helping out a lot, feel free just to shoot us an email and let us know, because I'm a big fan of anyone that donates lots of their time to get this stuff up and running.
Absolutely. Love to promote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a decent cause because bridge is such a good game for kids to get into. It's really good. It's really good cognitively and it's good socially because it gets the other kids of their age doing, a great fun game that makes them think and use, logic, and it's just generally good. And people who dedicate their time for no reason other than to support young people coming in, it's just really great.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, we might wrap it up there for this week. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Not lesson, the podcast on Triple Dome. The next one's gonna be in 2 weeks. So everyone's good for that, I think. We'll be back on Thursday night then, unless you're still out. No.
That'd be good.
And I was thinking that if people wanted to email in questions about some hands, feel free and we can discuss hands. So if anyone wants to email in a hand, send it into bridgevid@gmail.com. You can see it down in the bottom right, and shoot it through, and we might discuss some of the hands that you guys send through.
Yeah, would love to. So, but we're not going to discuss 100 hands, Brad. So 3 hands in the previous week.
Brad, we're gonna enforce a ruling of maximum 10 hands, please. No more than 10, Brad. Anyone else can send in as many hands as they want, but Bradley Johnson, you 10 hands maximum. And I know that you want to send more, so don't even think that we're joking.
All right. Thanks all, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Yeah.